page 545. All right, we're ready to read about Kenji. Kenji collects shadow puppets. He says that 0.05 or 5/100 of his puppets are dragons. What fraction of his puppets, 5/100 of his puppets are dragons. What fraction of his puppets are dragons? Kenji collects shadow puppets. He says that 5/100 of his puppets are dragons. He has a lot of dragons. Are you guys noticing what the denominator would be? This boy really likes shadow puppets. All right, let's circle good information. Circling that he has 0.05, and I'm going to box around. I'm going to box keywords. I'm going to underline the question, what fraction of his puppets are dragons? Okay, so you have in your math workbook, you had a little grid paper that looks like this. Get that back out with a highlighter. You had a coloring page that looked like this. You also have a paper in your desk that looks like this from yesterday. I didn't say get your voices and start talking. I said get out 2 papers. Okay, so if I was coloring a grid, I'm going to look up here and I'm going to say that in the decimal, I'm going to line it up perfectly with the problem. Okay, this is identical. I can see that the 5 is sitting in the hundredths place. Can you see it's sitting here? Yay, it's in the hundredths place. That means my denominator is going to be what number, Caleb? 100. That works out great because I have a 100 grid right there. And I put on top of it the information 5. How many of his puppets are dragons? I would only have colored in 5 little squares. That's it. If you colored in 5 rows, you colored in 50. 5 rows is 5 times 10 would be 50. He does not have 50 sitting there. He says he has 5/100. Turn the page. Okay, we're on 7. Page 548. Ready to read. A volunteer group, I'll wait. You ready? A volunteer group removes harmful weeds from sand dunes along 0.9 or 9/10 of a mile along the shore. Write 9/10 in words and as a fraction show your work. Well, let's look at the pretty illustration for a minute. Yes? No. You can wait for morning recess. You'll get a drink in the drinking fountain if you're desperate. A volunteer group removes harmful weeds from the sand dunes along. Circle. 0.9 of a mile along the shore. Right. Here's your action. So let's underline that. Write 9/10 in word and as a fraction. So again, you're back to your decimal chart. This is ones, tenths, hundredths, and put your information in. It says there's 0 in the ones, 9/10. All right, it wants me to write 9/10 in words. Well, that's real easy to do. In word, comma, 0.9 is 9/10. As a fraction, it's in the tens place. Can you see that? It's in the tens place. So I am going to put underneath, am I going to put a 10 or a 100, Emma? Huh? Where do you see the word 100 anywhere on my paper? I literally put starburst around the 9, and what is the 9 sitting in which square? So what is the denominator? Tenths. I put the 9 at the top. So over here, I'm not finished. So now it says write 9/10 in word and as a fraction. All right, we have to read again because we're going to have to do some additional math work. A volunteer group removes harmful weeds from sand dunes along 0.9 or 9/10 of a mile along the shore. Write 9/10 in word or as a fraction. Show your work. Actually, change my mind. There's nothing else to do. You write 9/10, move on. All right, we're on 8. Write 0.89. Let's say it in word form. 89 hundredths in words and as fractions. Show your work. On your chart, draw in 0.89. Draw that in. On your paper chart that I gave you, I'm going to have you color it in as well. So you're coloring and you're writing on your other paper that is called the decimal place value chart. So I want you to color because I can see that that number is sitting in the hundredths place. And I gave you a grid that has hundredths on them. Let's look at the problem. So we're going to circle what we need to know. 0.89, I put it in the table. It's sitting in the hundredths. Okay? Nothing is in the ones. So, Emma, let's revise. If I have 8, 9 in the hundredths, what is my denominator? It's sitting in the hundredths. That means my denominator is going to be 100. Then I take the information I have and put it as my numerator, and I'm going to go color. You should have colored in 8 rods, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rods, and 9 little polka dots. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 in there. Okay, how did that go? Wonderful. And it says to write it in word form, so I'm going to write it in word form. In word, it would be 0.89 is, and I'm spelling it out, EIGHTY hyphenate 9 hundredths. Make sure when you say that in your head, you are pretend spitting on somebody. And in fraction form, we already solved it. Wonderful. I'm on 9. Select all the fractions that are equivalent. Equivalent is just a fancy word for equal. 0.2. Emma, now look at me. I'm going to ask you a question, and you're going to give me one answer, and it's going to be the correct answer, and not 2 answers. You ready? Okay. I'm going to put this in a table. And I put the decimal there, and I have the ones, so $1. I have the tenths, which is equivalent to 10 cents. And I have the thousandths, that is equal to 1 penny.
It's supposed to be 100.
Thank you. Hundredths. You're not going to do thousands till you get to Mrs. 5th grade, Miss Shaw. Select all the fractions that are equal to 2/10. It is 1 place away from the decimal. So the 2 goes there. I'm going to starburst it just so Emma has an unfair advantage to give me the correct answer. Emma, what is my denominator in this problem? Oh, clap that up for her. That was amazing. That was nice. Nice job. I put the 2 there, and I'm going to go pick one. Ooh, it says select all. Am I done with this kind of math yet? No way. Something else that is equivalent is the same thing as adding a 0 to the back of it. It makes it the same answer. So 2/10 is also equal to 20 hundredths. And if you don't believe me, we can butterfly. 2 zeros. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 zeros. 2 times 1 is 2. That is also the exact same thing, because I can see when I'm thinking about this number, 0.2 is the same thing as 20 cents at the store.